having a catchphrase is important. And I used to watch American movies, and I loved all of those sort of like big catchphrases and cool stuff they said, like, hey, I'm talking here, or you walk into me, like stuff like that. I love that sort of catchphrase. I love that.
I'm a big scary movie fan. My problem with scary movies, though, scary movies, black people die first, but fat people die worst, like... In a scary movie, there's always a black guy going like, oh shit, what? And he's killed. But fat people were always doing something to him. We're always like, hey guys, wait up! Like, we make the sound of cheese being made when we're stabbed. Hey guys, the store just had regular Doritos and not Cool Ranch, so I made my own ranch from home. Why is that guy wearing a hockey mask? It's the summer. Oh shit, I'm getting killed! I was nervous that joke wasn't going to work because I don't know if you guys have black people here, so I...
Ever seen a gladiator die before? No? Well, you can see this in films like Troy or 300 or, even Gladiator. Anytime someone gets killed by a sword, they'll fall to their knees in slow motion. For some reason, this will happen. It'll be like this, I go... Zimni, honey, 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 honey. Zimni, honey, 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 honey. It's depressing. I find it very depressing.
Real quick, why when people get stabbed in movies, why they never blink their eyes? They just be on some... Like, bro, I stabbed you 5 minutes ago. We gotta go to the next scene, bro.
If I'm home alone watching something scary on TV, and then I gotta walk all the way down the hallway to the bathroom, I'll start singing praise and worship songs. For protection. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells. You gotta get aggressive. You gotta get aggressive with the ghost. You gotta let them know you ain't playing no games. Oh, you think this a game, ghost? Oh, you trying to scare me? Well, you didn't see me over here with my Merlot taking my communion?
I'm writing a movie called Mamma Mia. It's about mothers that go missing in action during war. I'm writing a movie called Sharknado. It's a post-apocalyptic movie about a shark that is also the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
I've never seen a movie, I could be watching any movie, you put a gun to my head, say what's happening, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. I was just ruminating about a barista that disrespected me, and I didn't do anything about it because I'm a coward. I found that out when I went to the beach with my family, saw a shark and kept it a secret. But
I look good. I would have looked better in another time. I look like the 9th hottest movie star from 1949. Back when you did not have to be sexually attractive to be a male movie star in cinema. You could be a famous person on a big screen and come out and be like, well, yes, darling, of course I've got my swim trunks up above my belly button. I'm a man, after all. I've almost got them up above my nipples because I'm a real man, I'll tell you that. That's right, I've got 3 towels around my neck. You can't tell quite how beefy I am. I've been swimming and smoking all day. Wouldn't you say it's about time for a cocktail, darling?
But I grew up around a lot of religious people, like my whole childhood, a lot of Christians, and some of the best people I've ever met, a lot of family friends. And when I was a kid, our family used to hang out with theirs, but we were the only family that wasn't religious at all. So the other kids just couldn't fathom that I wasn't religious. They'd come up to me and be like, wait, so you've never read the Bible? And I'd have to stand there and be like, oh, I'll probably just catch the film when it comes out. Did that with Harry Potter, it was fine. And I did what any kid asks, to try and make friends, because we didn't have much in common. I was like, do you like Harry Potter? And I didn't know at the time that Christianity sometimes condemns magic. And this kid got really defensive, and he was like, Harry Potter? nah, Harry Potter's a bit unrealistic. And I was like, well, yeah, it's fiction, like another book you love. And then during this discussion, I heard one of the greatest comebacks / statements I've ever heard. He just goes, oh, whatever. The Bible is a way better book than Harry Potter. And I was like, you've chosen war. And he goes, what do you mean? You're not impressed by water into wine? I was like, has your teacher ever turned into a fucking cat?
I see Netflix has fucking given up, man. They're not even trying anymore. You know that category on Netflix, just watch it again? Just a list of shit you've already seen. Go, yeah, watch it again. You'll watch it again, you little content piggy, lying on your couch in your own filth, playing with your phone and your genitals. Watch it again! And I do. The recommendation algorithm makes no sense, right? Earlier this year, this is totally true, my Netflix told me that because I'd watched Fast and the Furious, I might like the 2001 Oscar-winning biographical drama, A Beautiful Mind. Not even fucking close, mate, okay? I'm not watching Fast and the Furious because I'm a cinephile and I want to learn more about the human experience, okay? I'm watching Fast and the Furious at 3 p.m. on a sunny afternoon because I've recently ingested an industrial amount of MDMA and am now coming down so hard my brain can only operate at a Vin Diesel capacity, okay?
My favorite action movies of the current day and age that we're in are the Fast and the Furious movies. Those are my favorite ones. Arguably, oh, sure. But even cheering, we know they're the dumbest ones out there. They're dumb, they know they're dumb, and we know they're dumb. And we're still like, give them to me. How dumb are the last one was called Fast X for Fast 10. There's 12 of them. They're like, it's Fast 10. Like, aren't there 12? Like, shut up, dummy. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, it's fine. They're the guys that die in one just show back up. They don't even say why. They're just like, hey. They're like, oh, I thought you. Yeah. Like, and then they're formulaic. They're elaborate, but they're truly formulaic. Like, right, I'm going to describe one of the Fast and Furii to you right now, and pretty sure that's how you pluralize it. So, and if you don't know the franchise, you will not know if I'm just making this up, just pulling it out of my ass. You will have no idea. And if you do know the franchise, you still will not be sure, because they just blend into one long Camaro explosion. But say we'll choose anyone from like in the middle. So let's say like 3 to 8. Let's say anywhere in there. You never know what it's going to be. They've already done their first heist. They've established themselves. They've got their millions. You know, this rapscallion crew of Honda Civic jockeys. They've made a few bucks and now they're in different parts of the world, just enjoying their life. We really did it. Nothing can go wrong now. And that's when just a representative from the U.S. government comes in like, we need this crack team of DVD player thieves. When that was relevant, we're the USA, strongest military in the world. Never mind about the Navy SEALs. But we're the strongest military in the world. That's part of the training now. We let puppies lick their toes, and if they crack, they're out. But right now, outside of the best, strongest, big dick military in the world, none of them know how to drive manual. So we really need you guys. We need you, bunch of Corona sipping degenerates, to help us out. What had happened? It's just a group of international terrorists. It's international now. They can't be from a country because that's problematic. But it's still terrorism, but it's very diverse. Who are these terrorists? I don't know. That guy's Cuban. I think he's gay. Whatever. They're all over the place. They're all over the place now. They've stolen the nuclear codes. It's always the codes. It's never the bots, the codes. Apparently somebody's just writing them down in a notebook and just leaving them in a backpack at Starbucks. They always get the codes. It's just somebody like, all right, I got my keys, I got my wallet, chapstick. Oh, my JanSport full of nuclear codes. I can't believe I left it on the bus. So, There's terrorists have stolen nuclear codes. They've hidden them in a Lamborghini. That's right, hide something. They've hidden them in a Lamborghini. Tastefully colored? No, it's orange. Bright orange Lamborghini. And they've stashed it on top of the bad guy's skyscraper. That's where I'd put it. You can't put it in the garage, it'll get scratched. So, there's a bright orange Lamborghini full of nuclear codes on top of a heavily protected skyscraper in a country that we will not name because this movie needs to make money everywhere. So, what did I tell you? You know, you gotta feel. So that's on you guys now to help us. Because our military can't do it. And they're like, all right, assemble. Well, let's first, who do we have in our team that might have like a connection? A guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who might have like just a special Lamborghini lifting helicopter. And then just out of the shadows comes former hip hop star Ludacris. Oh, sure. Of course. Can you imagine it being someone else? Other than Ludacris? I am convinced Ludacris does not know he's in these movies. I think Ludacris, he shows up wearing the clothes he was gonna wear anyway. And they just convince him to say a few key phrases. What? Lamborghini living in a helicopter. Got it, that's it. And they call him Ludacris half the time, I'm pretty sure. I don't know his character names like Dave or Lugnut, I don't know, but they're like, all right, so Luda, shit, oh, should we cut? Because I called them like, nope, we already blew the budget on special effects. Just keep going. But somehow they get Ludacris to say, yeah, I got a guy. And they're like, all right, cool. And so that's it. We're like, oh, we're like only 20 minutes in the movie, short and sweet. They cracked the case, you know? So special Lamborghini lifting helicopters coming over the horizon, you know, just approaching. And it's a unique looking helicopter. And bad guy skyscraper's over here, but it's a skyscraper. They got a vantage point with elevation. They're like, that looks like a particular kind of helicopter. Maybe one specifically designed for picking up Lamborghinis full of nuclear codes. And then the bad guys are like, well, should we double check? Like, where are the bad guys? And they just shoot it down. They just shoot it down right there. And you're 25 minutes into the movie, like, well, oh no, what are we gonna do? That was the plan. And so now we gotta go back to the clubhouse where everybody's hanging out. And we're like, all right, well, that plan, that was our one shot. So now we got to go the real unorthodox, maybe something like with math and science and engineering. Do we have somebody in our group with like that kind of brain, that analytical thinking that could like figure out some way with engineering to get the car out there? Oh, yeah, former model Tyrese, of course. Of course, when I think of engineering mastermind, I think of Tyrese. Tyrese, I believe, is reading the script just below the camera at all times. Oh, what's up? You all need help getting a lamb giant? That says Lamgina, man. That's how it's spelled. Oh. Y'all need to get a Lamborghini off a building. And then they just cut to a whiteboard with a lot of shapes and numbers on it. And he just goes, there. You know, like that's, they just had some intern run in, just make geometric shapes and put some math on there. And that's when Tyree's like, well, if you drive it fast enough off the edge of the building and you could just fly it away on account of a Lamborghini has the doors that do this. It's got doors like this. Well, if you get enough speed, it could actually travel non-traditionally. That sounds like Back to the Future. Shut up, man. And so if you got enough speed, all right, so that's the plan. We'll fly the Lamborghini. To where? Okay, well, I guess we could just like get a short-term lease on a good guy skyscraper across the street. We'll just roll in with some cash, talk to the landlord. According to Tyrese's calculations, we really only need floors 8 through 13. We really only need those. given the trajectory of his math, that's where the Lamborghini should crash into. So we get a short-term lease there? Absolutely, short-term lease. All right, but now we have to execute this plan. Who do we have amongst our crew that is brave enough, that is strong enough, that is bald and dumb enough to... We all know who it is. My man Vincent Diesel. That's who's coming in there. Vincent Diesel. My man Dominic Toretto. I just go by Vincent these days. He hears him talking about it. He scoots out from underneath some hot rod that's blowing up in every movie. Every movie, that car just fucking explodes at the end, and the next one starts with him like, Apparently all you need is like a 5/8 wrench to be like, back in action. He scoots out with a totally clean tank top and just stands up like, I'll do it. He's only got 5 lines. And he rolls in there. He gets to bad guy skyscraper. He just starts at the bottom, just indiscriminately just kills, shoots him, shoots this guy. Gets to 1 floor, like, where's the call center? What's happening? No witnesses. Shoots him. Gets him to what? We're just United Airlines customer service. What's going on? Double tap. I gotta fly them tomorrow. He just kills everybody in the skyscraper and gets up to the roof where the Lamborghini full of nuclear codes. He gets in. There's always a minute where he just like is horny for the car. Where he's like, you know. Why? He fires it up, backs up, shoots it towards the edge of the building. Boom, it goes. He pops the doors. That's it. They're the wings. It's flying. Of course it's flying. We've all agreed that this is real. I'm on my 3rd bag of popcorn just going, of course it worked. Tyrese knows math. I'm absolutely with him on this, 100%. But then there's one terrorist he didn't get yet. There's one guy, and he's just barely hanging on, but he's dedicated to being a terrorist. And he's like, he pulls his AK-47 over by him, and he says something hack, because they didn't pay the writers well enough. So this guy's just like, not on my watch, or some shit. Like something dumb. And he's got 1 bullet left, and he fires it off. But it doesn't hit Vincent, it doesn't hit like the undercarriage, it just hits the window in the door, which that's where the lift exists for the Lamborghini to fly. Oh no, this whole plan unravels! Now the Lamborghini's spiraling, and Vincent's like, what are we gonna do? And it's spiraling, it's not gonna go to the designated floors that they gotta rent on. It just smashes into the side, a good guy skyscraper. And Vincent thinks quick, he flips outside, he grabs a seatbelt, he's dangling off the side of the building. He's holding on like an office chair that's hooked on an I-beam that's hanging out of a under construction office, and he's holding on to the Lamborghini by the seatbelt, just like, you gotta do this. And he's looking at his crucifixes just dangling, shining in the sunlight. And he looks at that, and that's when he's like, oh yeah, family. And he just, which is such, that's weird that's what that reminds him of, because the guy in that crucifix, his dad killed him. That's a weird thing to go with. But that's where he gets his strength, family, and and he flings the Lamborghini over his head into the office up there, and he drags himself up, and he's just got glass coming out of his bald head, and he's bleeding. He drags himself in there, and the rest of the crew, they all rush up to make sure he's okay, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that was so close. And the main, like the starlet, his wife, I don't even know, she shows up for the first 5 minutes in the movie and disappears, but then she's there at the end, like she was part of this crew the whole time, and she's like, oh, I can't believe, I'm so glad you're safe. Don't you do that ever again. But then she's like, but also the way you saved the world has got me all, every time you just assert yourself this way, we should fuck. And he's just laying there bleeding like, all right. And that's the part of the movie where I'm like, I was with you the whole time. I was with you from ludicrous, just being called ludicrous, From Tyrese knowing science, I was on board with everything. Flying Lamborghini, instantly, of course. But there's no way he's fucking rocking up for this. And that... Not then, no. I just want one action movie where that's the moment where it really hits the realism, where it's just like everything happened, there's explosions, death, blood, and I just want the main guy to just be like, what? Are you fucking around? Did you not see what I just... Can I get like 20 minutes? Jesus Christ. I see. This is what horned you up? What's wrong? I just killed all those guys. And that, not to mention, I ran up the whole building, but those guys had families. I'm sad about that. You don't really... And also, I've been at my target heart rate all day with this plan. I think this is rebar that went through a kidney. My blood pressure's plummeting, but... I mean, if you need it, we can give it a shot, but it won't be good. I hope you're into people watching, because we're gonna have to do it in the ambulance, because I am fighting off the tunnel vision right now of a blackout, and I need fluids, not sexy fluids, vital fluids. I need fluids and monitoring, and I will be passing out throughout the whole thing, but if you want to give it a shot with the EMTs looking over us, I could try and thumb it in for as long as I'm conscious. I mean, that's the best I can promise you is every 30 seconds, I'm just going to be slapping my dick against my hand like a TV remote with a dead battery. So, I mean, we can try, but I'd love 6 to 8 weeks for a full recovery, just to be honest with you there. So that's... Just give me an ounce of reality, Fast and Furious.
This is racism in Canada. I've been living here for 5 years. I was here, and then the Black Panther came out. We saw the movie. After the movie, the lights come on, and we're all walking out, and white people would see me. It's not bad, but this is what they would see me, and they go... Like that. That's pretty much it. I'm like, what? That was weird. Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? My dick is out. I'm taking a piss. They're like, Wakanda forever. I'm from Fresno. Why did you say that?
My niece and my nephews, they're super into Harry Potter. They love Harry Potter. So much so that this past Halloween, when the Ellis family went trick-or-treating together, we all had to go as Harry Potter characters. And guess who got to be the person of honor? Yeah. My niece, she asked me the day before Halloween, she's like, Uncle Mark, we talked about it. And in my head, I'm like, shit, is this an intervention? Is it? And she's like, we want you to be Harry. And yeah, it was so cute, and I knew I was gonna break her heart because I said yes, and I'll do everything I can to pull off Harry Potter. But she's 7. She's expecting the kid from the movies. She's not expecting middle-aged, burned out, hasn't cast a spell in 30 years, Harry Potter. Still wearing his Gryffindor robe, but gets a high school varsity jacket.
I have a French friend, we go to the movies together a lot, and every time we go together, he feels the need to remind me about how the French invented cinema. Like, oh yes, the French invented cinema. Like, yes, that's nice, but what have you done for me lately? All right? Because America gave me pornography on my telephone. In this lifetime. You know, movies are cute, but call me back when you can compete with fornication in the palm of my hand. This is amazing.
So I'm in therapy. Anybody here in therapy? Oh, wow. That's a nice response. Usually it's just one person that's like, help. I'm like, oh. Let's talk to you. Yeah, I think therapy is amazing. But I guess not everybody always needs therapy. Some people do need therapy. And you can usually tell who those people are because they say things like, I don't need any fucking therapy. I prefer to be a burden to my loved ones. You're like, sir, this is an Arby's. Why are you shouting? You're alarming the children. I had to work on my self-worth in therapy because I kept attracting some of the wrong people. One of my friends told me this quote. She said, "Once you know your worth, you'll stop giving people discounts." And I was like, well, slap my tits and call me Groupon, baby. Boy, I've been out here like, hey, you got a personality disorder and no job, this pussy's 90% off. Hey! No credit, no problem, get in here. That makes it sound like my life has been a dick buffet. It has not. I have a very low body count. I love that that's what we call it, body count, like we're all just fucking people to death, like, it sounds so System of a Down for no reason, you know? I think I would have a higher body count if STDs didn't exist, but I'm just so terrified to ever get one that I don't want to gamble. Like, I just can't believe that in 2022, our best defense against them is still just condoms in the honor system. Scouts honor, bro. I'm like, you lied about your height. I'm supposed to trust you on chlamydia? No. And kick rocks. Get out of here. I was reading online that some of the very first condoms back in the 1800s were really thick. Like they used to basically just cut up bike tires. And they've obviously gotten thinner over time, which I'm sure was a guy's idea, you know. I bet the women back then were pissed, like, but keep it girthy. Keep that deep dish condom on. We don't have electricity. This is the only joy I have. I had a woman come to one of my shows recently who I think was from the 1800s. She was very old. And she came up to me afterward and she was like, I was a makeup artist for 30 years. And at this point I'm thinking, oh, I think she's about to compliment my makeup. That's so nice. And then she goes, your face was so oily when you were on stage. It was the only thing I could look at. The lights were hitting it so bright that I had to squint to look at you. And that's when I heard my brain say, well, tonight's the night we go to jail for throat punching someone's nana. You just hit a certain age where you walk around like, fuck it, burn it to the ground. Like, just traumatizing people. I'm like, who is this woman's poor husband? You know? We gotta save him. I just picture him getting out of the shower and she's like, your balls make me sick. Of course, I didn't say any of that to her. I was just like, what powder do you recommend? I have no backbone. I've also become self-conscious of this very specific thing. Did you girls have that dress code in middle school where you had to wear shorts that were longer than the length of your fingertips to your sides? Okay, all right? To prevent girls from wearing booty shorts. So that was the day I learned I have freakishly long arms. For my short height. I'm only 5'4". All the girls had to line up. We put our arms down. And I don't know if you can see what's happening right now. I'll show you on this side too. But I did this, and I looked down, and I was like, oh no. I'm gonna have to wear men's Jinko jeans to not get expelled. Just rolling into home ec with my chain wallet and lugs, like. Let's bake these muffins, Diane. The third member of the Insane Clown Posse. I don't know much about the Insane Clown Posse, but it does make me laugh picturing those guys having to take their makeup off at the end of the night. Because they seem so tough on stage, like, I'm gonna stab this dude and bang your chick. And then 2 hours later, they're like, these Neutrogena wipes are lovely. Oh. Don't burn my eyes. So, before I started headlining, I used to open on tour for a comedian named Jim Norton. Anybody here a Jim Norton fan? Nice. Got some Jim heads in the house. So Jim's favorite thing to do is to humiliate people. And I made the mistake of telling him that I embarrass very easily for a comedian. And he just milked that every day for 3 years on tour. When we were in public, he would constantly accuse me of shoplifting. We would be checking out at a CVS pharmacy, and just deadpan in front of the cashier, he would turn to me and go, "Are you not gonna pay for all the things in your purse?" And I would just start shivering like a shelter chihuahua, like, I would just end up paying for lipstick that I've owned for 5 years. I was like, just take my money, I'm so sorry, I hate this. It was traumatizing. By far, the most embarrassing thing he would do with his bodyguard. We traveled with this 7-foot-tall guy named Kenny. Picture Frankenstein with less people skills. Just an oaf. And I don't know if you women have ever ordered anything on VictoriaSecret.com, but sometimes you get that free tote bag with purchase. Okay. If you have even a shred of self-respect, you immediately throw it in the garbage where it belongs. I used it as my day-to-day purse for 7 years. I have no dignity. It says Victoria's Secret in big letters on the sides, like it's very obnoxious. And I would travel with this. So when we were on tour, we'd have to get to the airport at 5 in the morning. And you guys know how you look at the airport at 5 a.m., right? Just greasy, disheveled, gross. So I'd look like that, and I'd have this bag, and everybody's just quietly shuffling about the airport. And all of a sudden, his bodyguard would shout, "Victoria's Secret model coming through!" And everybody, and I mean everybody, would stop and look at me wide-eyed and then go, do you know how quickly your self-esteem goes in the toilet? When you can watch 100 people decide in half a second, no, she's not. You're like, all right. Just gonna go walk into traffic now, thanks. So I'm from Washington State originally, and they just passed this new legislation that is banning schools from continuing to use Native American mascots, which is great. And the high school I went to, our mascot was the Blackhawks. And it takes a linguistic specialist to tell the difference between somebody saying Blackhawks and black cocks. And let me tell you, it was pretty wild growing up, going to football games and watching a dozen cheerleaders shout to a stand of parents, "We love Blackhawks, yes we do, we love Blackhawks, how about you?" And then watching everybody on the other team be like, "What the fuck?" It's like the mating call of the Kardashians. So I had my bachelorette party down in Vegas, and we went to the Magic Mike live show. Has anybody here been to the Magic Mike live show? Oh, we got a few. Oh, are you still wet? Hey. Girl, it is crazy what happens at the show. They brought it back during COVID, which surprised me because if we are concerned about droplets, women are gushing fluid at this show. Medically, it's a problem, okay? It changes the humidity in the room. Women with straight hair leave with curly hair. It's like a rainforest cafe in there. That air is thick. 3 C's. But now that the show's back, you gotta go. Oh, it is the cream of the cock. Just, chef's kiss. For 2 hours, these oiled up six-packs just grind the stage, and they sing to you, they lick whipped cream off your body, and then they bring some women on stage, and then they take your top off, and then they take your pants off, and then they fuck you. No, I'm kidding. I just want to see how far you guys would go with me on that part. Did you hear how quiet it got in here? Oh. Could you feel every woman just slowly leaning further forward in her seat, like, I'm pulling out her phone, checking flights to Vegas. Like, a taxi! Were you like, was I in the bathroom when that happened? How did I miss that? No, they don't do that. That'd be pretty dope. Probably charge a lot more for tickets. But you do get a lot for your money. At the end of the show, they do bring some women on stage, and then they put you in harnesses, and they put one of the guys beneath you, and you get to, like, ride the men into the sky like Free Willy. They get you hornier than you've ever been in your entire life, and then they just set you loose. Back into the wild. Single dudes, if you were ever trying to fuck in Vegas, just go stand outside the Magic Mike exit. Like a catcher. We're running out of there, holes open like a starfish, ready to go. That's something TripAdvisor doesn't tell you, and that's what I'm here for. I'm like your creepy uncle. I'm just helping you get laid. I would like to go back to the show, but not for anything wedding related, because there's usually two types of women that go. The host comes out and he goes, all right, ladies, make some noise if you're here for a bachelorette party. There's a bunch of young 20-something girls that are like, ah, oh my God, penises. Ah. And then the host goes, all right, now who here's celebrating a divorce? And it's just one table of women in their 40s like, give me your dick. You're like, oh my God.